They've been really good in the analytics, which has them in a high net, but they're missing the quad one wins.
Yeah, some would call it a signature win. For example, South Carolina picked up theirs last night, right? A blowout win against Kentucky. What Florida is missing right now is that signature win. They'll have plenty of opportunities, as will Mississippi State, to pick up more. This is the first of 4 straight quad one games for the Bulldogs. Nice shot that time, weaving his way to the basket is DJ Jeffries.
Well, you can see, and we talked about this in the open, there is no question Mississippi State, they want to establish block to block.
They've been the more physical team in the early going, winning the battle of the glass 9-2. They haven't even played 6 minutes yet in this game. Open three, Florida likes to take them, missed that time, and there's Hubbard, smallest man on the floor at 5'10" with a rebound.
Yeah, that's Houck, and Houck has only made 6 threes on the year, but I do like his shooting form. Here's Florida doubling with a small. In other words, they're utilizing a guard to double the big.
That ball was right on line. Jeffries just a little too strong. State ice cold from behind the arc, now 0 for 7. Matthews don't want to throw a 50-50 ball near him. He'll steal it more times than not. Instead, he picks up a foul.
That had pick 6 written all over it, didn't it?
It surely did. And you and I had the Mississippi State win against Tennessee, and the play by DJ Jeffries. I don't even remember how many points he scored. It doesn't matter. His defense won them that game.
I think Mississippi State's got 6 players on the floor. I'm pretty sure they're not going to allow that.
There's been some rule changes this year. That is not one of them the last time I checked.
Florida not getting very many clean looks.
Condon, the Aussie, passed up an open three, instead turns it over. Smith, great pass ahead to Fort, who missed the jam. Instead of laying it in, he tried a 2-hand stuff. Oh, that's going to make Coach Jans irate. And then on the other end, Pullen makes them pay.
That's a 4-point swing.
Yep.
2 Mississippi State should have had, and 2 that Florida was able to get in transition. Let's see if Condon can keep up with Tolu Smith.
Smith wheeling, dealing, and draws the foul. Tolu Smith, it's not just that he's big, it's the overall agility by the all-SEC performer.
Here's the swing I'm talking about. Fort, and maybe Clayton got a piece of that ball. Maybe he kind of fumbled it on the way up. And in transition, I think one of the keys for Florida in this game, score before Mississippi State's defense gets set on the half court.
Todd Golden now in his 2nd year as the head Gator. An NIT performance last year. Florida would love to get back to the big dance. It was Mississippi State that knocked out the Gators' chances of that last year. It's going to be a foul down low, and that'll go against Mississippi State.
I think this is on Jeffries. This might be his 2nd already, so that'll get him to the bench. Tolu Smith, you know, we had him 2 weeks ago, and he got off to such a good start this year at the free throw line. In his career, he's kind of struggled there, and it's kind of come back to the norm, if you will.
I mentioned that SEC tournament game. Tolu Smith in that game, 28 points, 12 rebounds. It was an overtime 1-point win for the Bulldogs. You want to talk about his physicality. Nice shot that time. Pullen putting on a show. Guess how many times Tolu was fouled in that game, Mark Wise?
Tell me.
10.
Oh, my goodness.
10 times and 17 free throws. Matthews in the middle of about 3 Gator defenders gets an and one.
I just love movement without the ball. First, let's take a look at the Pullen. It's 6'4", taking advantage of a 5'10" guy. That's an easy finish. And then cutting when there's a baseline drive. I love that action because the defenders, the help defenders, are all ball watching, as they're supposed to be.
Matthews, a senior out of Olive Branch, Mississippi. And missed free throws. So the Bulldogs are 0 for 3 at the line and 0 for 7 from behind the arc.
And they are dead last in league play at 61%. It's been a struggle.
You know, we're getting to the point now, late January. You kind of are what you are, right? I mean,
yes.
If you're a poor free throw shooting team at this point, you're probably not going to get much better. Hubbard on a runner, left it short, got his own rebound. What a play. 5'10", got his own rebound on a diving effort. Matthews inside, bellied up by Kugel. And tried to get a dime to Trey Fort, but a little too ambitious on the pass.
Mike, doesn't it seem like Mississippi State should already be up by 8, 10?
Absolutely. I mean, they've had golden opportunities. They fired off 7 more shots than Florida has. They're completely dominating the glass. But they've missed too many shots and too many turnovers. Open 3, no. Gators, one of the top offensive rebounding teams in the league, crashing there. Matthews off balance and gets the whistle.
Now this is a tough call here because Matthews forced the issue, and the question is, does he get tripped? In transition, yeah, he gets tripped by Pullen's right foot. It's not a lot, and he forced the issue, but Pullen is not in legal guarding position there.
Does he get tripped or does he step on his foot? Would be my only question.
Yeah. Well, again, he has to be allowed to land his foot.
He stepped on his foot.
Stepped on Pullen's, yeah. It's a tough, it's one of those tough fouls.
Meanwhile, the Bulldogs, 1 of 5 now. That's their first made free throw. So 1 of 5 at the line, 0 for 7 from 3.
Mike, I think this is the first time all year that Tolu Smith and Jimmy Bell have been on the floor at the same time for Mississippi State.
And you and I have asked Coach Jans, do you feel like giving that a shot? He always just kind of wavers. He's not really sure if he wants to go that route. You do obviously lose some quickness with the 2 bigs.
Now, Hanlogden is 4 for 6 on the year. That's too much room for him. Hubbard, I'm talking about.
You cannot give him space. Josh Hubbard, one of the elite scorers in this league as a true freshman. Scored over 4,000 points in high school. Samuel in the paint, and the big bull banks it home.
Now Hubbard can get going in a hurry.
Hubbard with the foul in the basket. Man, oh man, is he electric.
Interesting to note that Pullen has 2 fouls. Todd Golden keeping him on the floor.
Yeah, he's by far and away been the best player for the Gators tonight, with 7 points and 3 rebounds. I would make the case the top 2 point guards in the league this year up to this point. I'm not talking about NBA draft or athlete, just in terms of leading their team. Zion Pullen of Florida and Talon Cooper of South Carolina, who was terrific last night. There's a big 3 knocked down by Richard.
Yeah, the defender got knocked down. Richard with a clean look. You have to put Mark Sears in that conversation.
True.
In terms of point guards.
Yeah,
but if you're talking about transfer portal point guards, yeah.
Pass inside the Bell and a block. Net at the rim by Hanlogden.
Defender for Mississippi State got caught up in the wash. And when that happened on this little Iverson cut, wide open Will Richard. And he's too good of a shooter to get that kind of clean look. And then a nifty little bounce pass, but Hanlogden was there to be the rim protector.
When you look at this Florida roster, I mean, there's so much to like because you have depth with guards and with bigs. Very few teams in college basketball have that. Smith can't convert on the reverse, gets his own rebound again. To the other big, Bell missed the bunny.
Now, these are great looks by Mississippi State.
Kugel inside Samuel. Samuel lost it. Great hands by State. Kugel fires up a brick. Now it's Samuel carving out space, and he gets held down low.
Chris Jans out on the court, challenging his players to get on the glass.
Yeah, he's not yelling at the referees.
No,
he's yelling at his
no.
players. Well, what a job. He's done a great job no matter where he's been. If you include the COVID year where, of course, we didn't have an NCAA tournament, he was on his way to a 4th NCAA tournament at New Mexico State.
Just wide open. He missed Richard.
Another great hire in the league full of great coaches. That one was halfway down for Clayton. But it will remain Gator basketball. Florida now earning extra possessions.
Well, Mississippi State had their run of offensive rebounds, and now Florida is having their turn. It's going to be one of those games you better find a body.
Gators are 2nd in the country in offensive rebounding. And again, their rebound margin on the season, plus 10.2 on the glass. That is a strong number. Samuel up top, not much of a threat there. Now he goes to his home inside the paint. He missed it short. Another offensive rebound. Knifing in is Will Richard. Jeffries left alone up top, finds Davis. Tolu Smith. Wide open. And another good look, but a bad miss for Sean Jones.
31% on the year, so he can make them.
I mean, some of these misses for State are not even close. Kugel will shake and bake. Back up at the top. So quick twitch is Riley Kugel. 8 on the shot clock for Kugel. Draws a hedge from Tolu, finds Samuel on a 3, and that might be a little bit out of the big man's range. 4 for 18 now.
Upper left part of your corner of your screen, look at 5 White Richard. Davis does not block him out at all. That's a clean path for Richard to get the second shot opportunity.
15-15 stalemate. Under 9 minutes to play in the first half. Bulldogs have not scored in nearly 2.5 minutes. Jones gets the basket and the foul. So after he missed the wide open shot, he makes the much more difficult shot.
Looked like Kugel was the guy involved in the double team and then tried to get back involved. Does he get set? No, that's an easy call.
Yeah.
The new block charge means that you have to be, as a secondary defender, set before the offensive player plants his last foot.
I don't think even under last year's rules
well,
he was going to get that call.
But
you're right, the emphasis that we were told before the season even started on a play that's bang, bang. If you're a secondary defender, you better get there before the shooter takes off. I'll say this, Mark, I think players have adjusted to that. We haven't seen that rule play that much of an impact yet.
Well, I do think we've seen much fewer charges,
yes,
and that's good for our game.
Amen to that. Strong take. Clayton misses. Follow-up, yes, and the foul. Hand locked and playing big.
Well, this is what he did in that game, that road win against Missouri, because he went for 10 and 13. Double-double, if you will. It's almost like both teams want to just get the ball up on the rim and go get it.
What a pickup in the portal. The Sun Belt Conference Freshman of the Year at Marshall.
And here's an area, Mike, that Florida has not been very good in. Completing three-point plays. Just 60% on the year.
You've been waiting to see.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Are we counting that?
Yes.
I guess so. You've been waiting to use that next level metric for a while. Davis to Jeffries. A lot of dribbling. Now Davis drives. Smith back up top, open look. Boy, at some point you'd have to think they start falling for State. Now 1 for 10 from three-point land.
Yeah, Jeffrey's just 26%. He's struggled shooting the ball. Richard has not.
He has not struggled at all. Richard now with 9 points to lead all scorers.
There's the double coming low. Forces the turnover.
Give Richard the steal. Give Kruger the slam. 6-0 run by the Gators as the crowd ignites.
The double team came from the baseline side. That's way too open. He's
Hubbard.
gonna make it. Yeah.
Silencer.
Breakdown defensively.
9 points for the top scoring freshman in the SEC. Clayton left it short, and it squirts all the way out, 45 feet for the rebound. Samuel, big to big, hand-logged it. And it'll be a steal for Mississippi State. And there's the stuff, a great two-man game. Sean Jones on the business end.
Sensational, give it up, get it back. Execution with the 2-on-1.
It's a 1-point game with under 7 minutes to go.
Mississippi State drops into a 2-3 for the first time.
Jones came back after that bucket with a noticeable limp.
Might allow Clayton to get going, really.
Samuel from 14. Okay, seen a bank free throw, and we just saw that one.
Wow.
Late hours for the Gainesville banking community. Out of bounds, State ball. That would be a grand opportunity for Coach Musselman and company.
How many teams can say they beat Duke and Kentucky in the same year,
yes.
right? I was so impressed, Mike, with the way South Carolina guarded the ball last night. They just did not allow Kentucky any kind of driving opportunities.
You and I will have the Gamecocks against Missouri on Saturday.
Watch out. Watch out.
Again. He is red hot. Will Richard with yet another three. 12 points, a game high. Inside, they try to slip it to Smith. That's a turnover. It'll be Gator basketball. An ambitious pass by Sean Jones.
Watch this. One of the NBA stewards is look early and look opposite. Pullen's on the right side of the floor, finds Richard on the left side of the floor, and the reaction from Todd Golden, yeah. I just love that look early, look opposite.
Talk about that difference in tempo once again.
Again.
Florida certainly wants to go at a much quicker pace than Mississippi State.
Game of geography.
Yep. Pullen.
Wide open.
Pulls the trigger finally. I think he was so surprised how open he was. Aberdeen missed two from close range. Don't leave him open. Nothing but the bottom of the net again for Josh Hubbard.
Yeah, Florida playing drop coverage off Hubbard. I'm not sure that's the right call.
He is just an absolute scoring machine. I'm trying to think of who Josh Hubbard, a stocky 5'10", reminds me of. Oh no. Wow! Josh Hubbard with a heat check three.
He can be electric.
How about a little microwave Vinnie Johnson? Samuel carving out space, gets the basket and a foul.
Josh Hubbard making threes with regularity, but can also utilize the screen for that deuce. And then on the very next play, knocks down the three ball. It's the 10th time already this year Hubbard has knocked down three or more from deep.
And every time he elevates and releases, the shot is so pure. There's never a bad looking shot from number 13 in maroon. Hubbard draws a lot of attention. They're working around the horn up top. It's Jones. Bell hounded by Condon.
Mismatch.
Five on the shot clock. Fort on a 3. State now 3 for 13 from downtown. Samuel. Bully ball down low.
I like the way he beat the defender to the position. A rim run.
Right now, Josh Hubbard is feeling it.
Don't you feel like he can get anything he wants right now?
Anything, anytime. Doesn't matter who they put on. Air ball 3, but they're sneaking in weak side for the rebound is Will Richard. And the foul will go against Mississippi State.
I used to call this a Udonis Haslam rim run for Florida. Tonight, it's Tyrese Samuel.
Looking like a Final Four team. I was certainly buying stock in the Wildcats. I still am.
That's the point I was about to make. Yes, they still are a Final Four team.
Dave Bradshaw had a great point at the end of that broadcast. He said, this is less about what Kentucky did wrong and more about what Carolina did right. In other words, Kentucky is still an elite team, but it shows you the depth of this league, and to your point, Mark, how difficult it is to win on the road. These are not easy venues to play in. Week in, week out.
And the illustration that I use, because I put Auburn, Alabama, Kentucky, and Tennessee on Tier 1. And yet, do you know who has the most Quad 1 wins in this conference? Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. Won a squeaker last night against Missouri. Pullen hits the pull-up and a timeout. You can sense the frustration boiling over with Chris Jans. Why the Gamecocks, I'm sure the CLA will be rocking again.
Should be.
18,000 strong the other night.
Let's see if Mississippi State can get back to their DNA. And that's Hubbard and Smith. Here's the two bigs again on the same floor at the same time.
Smith muscles his way in and banks it home.
He just dislodges you. A little confusion on what should be run here.
Another 3. And another make. This time it's Walter Clayton with his first bucket.
Doesn't need a whole lot of room, does he?
No, he does
Shoots
not.
with such confidence.
Transfer from Iona, played for Rick Pitino. Could have followed the legendary Hall of Famer to St. John's. Decided he wanted to come back to his home state. Fort on a rise and fire 3, and he buries the triple.
Yeah, he's very capable. He made a couple of threes in that win against Vanderbilt midweek. Or I should say on the weekend. 35% on the year.
90 seconds remaining in this first half, but the Gators out to a 5-point lead. Great defense by Davis. Almost had the pilfer. 7 to shoot. Drive and a beautiful finish. Gliding to the basket. Will Richard. The Gators have hit 5 out of the last 6.
Had a mismatch. Bell was matched up on Richard on the perimeter. Richard took advantage of the quickness.
Hubbard. Shadowed by Clayton. Tolu that time just got a little shaky with the basketball.
Take another look. Richard on the mismatch. The blow by goes up and under Smith to finish left-handed off the glass. He's having a great half.
Richard. It's been the Richard Hubbard show. They each have 16 points to lead the way. Richard, rise and fire. Left that one short. Hubbard around the screen. Help from Samuel. And a bad pass and a steal. Showtime for Richard.
That's that pick 6. Pass back to the top of the key. You better have a little mustard on it.
Hubbard finally misses one, and the first half will come to a close. A 9-point Gator advantage. Starters do anyway, so sometimes it's not who starts, but who finishes the game. And Hubbard's been able to be the top dog in a number of games this year. What do you want to see differently out of State defensively?
Well, I think their answer needs to be offensively. They need to play much better offensively.
Inside, Handlogged in, and an and one. Micah Handlogged, the 7'1" center from Huntsville, North Carolina.
How about big to big on this play? Because when the ball goes inside to Samuel, watch the double team come. He reads it. Handlogged does the right thing, going right down with the dive cut in the middle of the floor. Samuel with the delivery, and Handlogged with the and one.
Tough matchup for Shaquille Moore, rotating over and giving up a foot to Handlogged. Largest lead for the Gators, now 12 points.
This has to be on Handlogged and off the ball. Remember Shaquille Moore, he played in the first half. He's been under the weather. He's starting here in the second half. I have to believe we're going to see Hubbard pretty soon.
Yeah. Leaner by Davis, Handlogged crashing in for the rebound.
Pullen, remember this, he got his second foul with 11 minutes to go in the half. What confidence Todd Golden has in Pullen at the point.
Well, he rarely makes mistakes on offense. You can depend on him usually to not make too many on defense either, as Clayton is on the wrong end of a hold, and an easy whistle for Joe Lindsay and company.
This is Smith reaching in to save and make Clayton earn the points at the line.
Great football player in high school in Lake Wales, Florida. You and I had the game, and they were playing East Carolina in Lakeland, Florida, and that was a very special time for Mr. Clayton.
Yeah, became a father that week. Answered the call, and I think if I remember correct, he had 20 in the first half.
5-0 run right out of the break for Florida. Matthews. Bounce pass, Tolu Smith. Smith in the trees, missed it. Matthews boards it. Ball movement. And a three from the corner for Jeffries, no. Offensive rebound, Matthews on a two-hand slam.
This is exactly the way the first half started, with Mississippi State owning the glass. Oh, here's a little 1-3-1, half-court trapped. Changed the game. That's a no-no. Pullen almost got himself in trouble.
And State gets the steal. And there's going to be the follow by Jeffries, so the pressure works. And down on the baseline is Clayton in pain.
Yeah, he tried to block the shot. I didn't like the way Florida attacked the 1-3-1. They flirted with that midcourt line the entire possession. Clayton comes out holding his left wrist.
That is certainly a concern.
Jeffries and that size at 6'9" on the point.
That's a better job breaking the pressure. You know, he's been quiet tonight. Kugel. He's got 2 points. He's taken 2 shots. Tough shot and a tough make for Zion Pullen, although he does make it look easy sometimes.
And that was over Mississippi State's best defender in Jeffries.
Everything about his game is so under control.
Eventually, you've got to finish these plays. Mississippi State's getting the ball in the paint.
High ball screen set by Tolu. Matthews pulls the trigger. And there's Tolu Smith doing what he does best, rebounding. Can't finish, however. And then almost a steal and almost right into our lap that time was Davis.
Why did you not set your feet and get ready to take the charge?
Well, because with the new rules, Mark, they wouldn't have given me the benefit of the doubt. It would have been a block.
Here's pulling over the 6'7" Jeffries for the off the window deuce.
Well, one thing, you weren't going to help me. Goodness gracious. You just got out of the way.
No such thing as team defense here.
I see that. 12-point advantage. Here comes Kugel on the attack. Tough shot. And he missed it. And there with the tip in is Samuel.
And sometimes it's just a matter of getting the ball up on the rim for Florida. They're so good at going to the offensive glass.
Alley pass a little too high that time for Matthews.
Yeah, Davis was quicker to the ball there.
Oh, great steal. Richard. Have yourself a night, Will Richard.
Pullen does a good job of dragging the hedge guy a long way.
A little bit out of control that time, Samuel. You get the feeling these next 5 minutes or so are crucial for Mississippi State. And a foul down low. Smith draws the reach it. And you're down 14. And really, other than Richard, it's not as if any Florida player is ignited just yet.
Right.
I mentioned how quiet Kugel has been. Samuel's been semi-quiet. Clayton's got 5 points. But if you're Mississippi State, the time is now to get a run going. And we know the number 1 candidate is number 13 in maroon. Hubbard is in the game. He's guarded by Pullen. Jeffries. That's a Fort. 3 right between the eyes of Samuel. That's a tough shot.
Very contested three-point shot.
And Pullen draws a foul 22 feet from the bucket.
So locked in.
Right.
That's must-watch TV.
I'm expecting a very physical game, much like we had the start of this game.
1-3-1 out of the timeout.
How do you attack it?
Ball's got to go below the free throw line. Good things will happen.
One of the rare times Richard has missed, but the Gators get it back. Condon, the Aussie, whips it out to Richard. Samuel just outside the paint. Oh, nice pass by Condon. Kugel did not handle it well. Hubbard's been quiet in the second half. And rejected. Will Richard has done everything tonight.
And he showed his age because he was telling Condon where to go in that whole sequence. Good timing, close enough, big enough to impact the shot.
Fort slashing and somehow gets it by Condon and in.
Different press down the floor.
Mississippi State giving a variety pack to the Gators. And there's the calming influence of Pullen.
They're trying to get their zone orchestrated here. It's a 2-3, so they're going into the bag of tricks.
Kugel, oh, there he is. Nothing quiet about that move from Riley Kugel.
But where did that pass come from? The weak spot, the 2-3, the free throw line area.
Missed the second basket for the talented sophomore out of Orlando.
Take another look. When the ball goes into the middle, it collapses the 2-3 zone. That opens up a driving lane, a passing lane. Kugel takes advantage of both.
Bell in the game, number 15 up top with the ball. There's that man, Hubbard. Spins out of there, and the rebound scooped up by Condon, and he's raked by Jeffries. It'll be out of bounds, by Matthews. It'll be out of bounds to Florida.
I'm not sure Todd Golden wants Condon leading the break.
I'm going to guess no on that one. If this was rugby or Aussie football, maybe.
Again, they're switching defenses almost every possession back to the 1-3-1. But Jeffries is getting a breather.
Pulling to Kugel.
And Kugel's got to be ready to shoot.
Kugel's open on the wing. Passed it up again.
The ball has never gone from one side of the floor to the other.
2 seconds left. Turn and fire, Richard. Condon creeping in for the rebound. Great hustle.
Well, that's one of the challenges. Can you rebound out of the zone?
It got real physical there between Condon and Cameron Matthews, and Condon will get the foul. Condon not bashful and certainly not afraid of contact.
Well, we knew this was going to be a physical game. Those two guys just kind of meet. I don't know that there's a foul there, is there? That was just a little meet and greet between two bigs.
Hey, well, Matthews at 6'7", 230, he's not going to give up much ground, even with somebody crashing.
Much better job by Condon showing on Hubbard.
Fourth down low, and just a tough turnover on Mississippi State. I mean, it's been that kind of game for the Bulldogs so far tonight.
Here's good news.
Yeah.
Clayton back on the floor.
Great news. He's got that hand taped up. You see the left hand and wrist taped up.
Bulldogs completely down the floor. 94 feet. See if they press on the inbounds.
Almost a 5-second count. Clayton. Jump pass to Kugel. Guarded by Hubbard. And the luxury of having this guy, number 0 in white. Zion Pullen rarely turns it over. An assist-to-turnover ratio of nearly 4-1.
Normally that would have been a shot by Clayton.
Pullen on a teardrop with bodies all over him. There's rush hour traffic in the lane when he shot it. And then just another unforced turnover.
Talk about your high degree of difficulty. Pullen challenges Bell, delivers, and yeah, the bench is up.
Nine turnovers now for Mississippi State, just 5 on the Gators. Alley-oop attempt to Condon goes through the hands.
It was actually there.
Condon out of Perth, Australia. Like a dual sport athlete, played a lot of Australian rules football. You follow that game, don't you, Mark?
Yes.
You can do some analysis on that late second half. Smith, dipsy-do. Nice finish by Sean Jones.
That's great movement without the ball by Jones. Every big guy, when you post up, you need to see one of two things, a cutter or a three-point shooter. That time, Jones was the cutter.
Kugel locked down in the corner. Clayton feeling it. Clayton! That wrist and hand are just fine, thank you very much.
Closeout was way too soft, almost like a parade wave.
Right. 17-point lead for the Gators. Hubbard trying to find an inch.
Well, it's news when he misses.
Yeah, it is. Didn't miss much of anything in that first half. Condon, high post.
Just a poor decision by the young freshman. Kick the ball back out.
Hubbard. Toss that one up there. Here's Bell. Banging inside. Out to Davis. And Condon with a nice box out.
You notice Condon did not try to take the ball up in transition.
Not that time, no.
Everybody looks a little gassed to me, both teams.
I agree. I think they're all waiting on this next media timeout.
Watch
Clayton
out.
on another.
Good execution against the 2-3, though. Screen on top.
7 rebounds for Tolu Smith now as Davis probes. Nobody's open. And there it is. Hubbard hits the 3, and everybody who's gassed will gladly go to the bench for a breather. Look at that. People were asking if he had any eligibility left for the football team.
Much more definitive press attack. Oh!
Clayton went airborne. Everything but the finish. Smith inside. Nice defense by Condon.
Smith never was able to take away the space of the shot blocker.
They have held Tolu Smith to 6 points. Remember, he was the guy that ate him up in that SEC tournament win over the Gators in overtime last year. 3 ball from the corner, it's Clayton.
Is his release quick or what? You don't really think he's in a catching mode, catch and shoot mode?
Clayton now with 11, 4 Gators in double figures as Hubbard hits the teardrop.
Such a smart play by Hubbard because he kind of leaned in a little NBA move, if you will, to create his own look.
He's talking to the radio analyst for the Bulldogs, Richard Williams, former Final Four head coach. Who does he remind you of? He said, well, you know, a lot of people say Chris Jackson, but I'm not willing to go that far. I'm with you. Chris Jackson was special. Who, by the way, lit it up in this building for 53 as a freshman for LSU. One of the best performances I've ever seen by an opposing player. There's the old coach, longtime analyst now on radio. He said when he was at Mississippi State, they thought they had Chris Jackson. That family grew up Mississippi State fans. They thought they were going to sign him, and at the last second, Dale Brown came in, and you know the rest is history.
Mississippi State went to a Final Four. Auburn has now gone to a Final Four.
Yeah.
I don't know that
South Carolina
has gone to a Final Four. Would teams have said that? It's a 3-point fest.
Alabama winning SEC championships in basketball. Hubbard blocked out of bounds. And yet there's still some meat left on the bone for them to be on the right side of the bubble.
Well, if you don't have quad 1 wins, the next best thing you can do is stack your quad 2s.
Right.
And that's what this game would be for Florida. So they've got Smith so far away from scoring.
Nice take by Matthews.
That was too easy. Breakdown. Mississippi State's trying to get this 2-2-1 organized. Florida must have somebody in the middle of the floor, like Samuel.
The thing is, Florida has so many good ball handlers.
Right. Only had 3 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, they just seem like a tough team to really pressure. Alley-oop to Samuel. Perfectly executed.
Some really good, interesting matchups this weekend. You're in charge.
Well, I'll gas up my charter and get us to Fayetteville and then get us to the mean streets of Boca Raton, Florida for that matchup over there with the Fighting Owls.
I like that action, the fake handoff drive to the rim.
Again, Florida so smooth with the basketball tonight. Just 6 turnovers.
Way too early to think anything about utilizing clock. I like the attack.
Warren up top. Wings it to Jones. Spot and fire. Got it.
How about that for 5 quick points?
That'll work. Still plenty of time in this game. A 12-point deficit for Mississippi State. Pulling. Draws the attention, and almost a steal by the lanky arms of Cameron Matthews.
And Todd Golden's going to take a 30-second timeout to save what could be a shot clock violation in backcourt. And we're going to see some of both of those.
And somebody will be 3-3 in the tough and rugged SEC. Remember last year, Mississippi State with that win against Florida in the tournament. they went to the big dance with an 8-10 conference mark, so it can be done if the metrics are in your favor. Matthews cradles the rebound, leads the break ahead.
Numbers.
A wide open three. Yes, Moore tickles the twine.
8 straight points.
Things getting interesting here in Gainesville.
See, this press is taking time off the possession for Florida. We've got to get back to their attack mentality.
Clayton steps into a 3-ball. And there's Samuel beating Matthews to the spot. That's a big extra possession. Clayton. Timer at 7. Moore rebounds it. Mississippi State has hit its last 4 shots. Hubbard missed it, and a foul called against Mississippi State.
But I love the look. It's the early opposite look for your best three-point shooter. Hubbard caught it in rhythm. I think that's one Chris Jans. I know it was quick, but I think Chris Jans is going to have to live with that kind of shot. He's got to give that kind of freedom to Hubbard.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one guy. I'll be honest, the moment he let it loose, I thought it was going in. That's the best option for Mississippi State all night long. That would have cut it to 6. Bulldogs showing some spurt ability here. Pressure causing a little havoc. Pull in danger of a 10-second violation, and there it is. 10-second call, suffocating defense by the Bulldogs.
Too much utilization in the backcourt. And then when the ball was fumbled for just a second by Pullen, that created another couple of seconds.
Now, again, the Bulldogs could cut it to 6. They're in the middle of an 8-0 run. Moore lobs it. Was that a shot? Smith gets it back, and he misses. Gets it back again and lets it loose with the left hand.
Yeah, he's going to win that tug of war all night long.
7-point game. And almost a turnover as Clayton bobbled it, but then got bumped.
Take another look. Flexing their muscles. Tolu Smith, who's had a hard time scoring once he's gotten the ball inside, but he just stays with it. Third shot opportunity, and he cashes in.
Condon up top. Richard's been the go-to guy tonight. Not that time. Standing his ground was DJ Jeffries on the block.
Jeffries stayed vertical. And that's what made that play legal.
Can you believe this is a 7-point game?
No.
I mean, Florida has dominated for about 30 minutes. Richard, oh wow, nifty footwork, and somehow got it to go. That's a 3 after he was tiptoeing his way behind the line on a pump fake.
How did he find the balance to make the
no
shot?
Idea. Be good for some Friday night heights inside Tolu Smith.
Yeah, Pullen got caught on a switch.
Back to an 8-point game.
You cannot float passes against Mississippi State.
Condon finds Clayton. If nothing else, his pressure has kind of taken Florida a little bit out of their rhythm offensively. Here comes Hubbard on the big man. Gets the whistle and the foul. Hubbard, an 80% free throw shooter.
Neither team in the bonus, so Mississippi State can afford to be aggressive in their pressing.
The pride of Madison, Mississippi, splashes a pair, and it's a 6-point game. Pullen this time takes matters into his own hands to break the pressure.
That's much better. Now Florida has more time to run their offense.
Clayton with 5. Gets the ball screen. Clayton rises up mid-range. Can't connect, and there's Tolu Smith on the rebound. Who's the best option not named Hubbard?
Well, I was going to say Hubbard.
And we got a tie-up, and the arrow goes to Mississippi State.
You know, Moore got guilty of dribbling, but not going anywhere. Ball on the deck. I love Condon's effort.
What about Tolu Smith on a paint touch here?
Yeah, I mean, again, they've had a hard time finding him.
And he's got, you know, 2 big bodies around him in Condon and Samuel, but still, if I'm Mississippi State, I want number 1 to get a touch.
Shaquille Moore running the point.
Moore around Tolu Smith. Hubbard with 5. It's going up, folks. Hubbard with 3. Hubbard in the trees has it deflected out of bounds with 0.3. Now they might check the clock. You don't have time for a...
Yeah, you have to bat it.
Yeah, you don't have time for a catch and shoot. No. This is just a tip play. And there it is.
Oh,
that was a pretty good look. And Smith missed everything, so it's a shot clock violation, but that was a great look.
Well, this pressure has changed the tenor of this game, has it not?
Yes. It's a dangerous pass, but helps when you can throw it to a 7-footer. Clayton lost the handle. Lucky to get that one back. Reeled it in like a yo-yo. Under 2 minutes to play. Pullen on the attack. Misses. Gators crash. And Samuel gets it. But the shot clock is down to 1. And tapped out to the Gators. Big break there.
I think Mississippi State's got to think about fouling because they need to get to the bonus.
Well, Chris Jans is saying foul. And his team didn't see the sign until 9 seconds in, and Matthews commits it. But as you mentioned astutely moments ago, they have fouls to give, and that's not a good thing at this point.
Better come meet all passes. I don't like lobbing the ball back in backcourt here. Come to the ball.
Clayton lobs it to Condon, and he's fouled by Tolu Smith.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
Condon 65% to put the freshman at the line. You cannot simulate these kinds of pressure free throws in practice.
Especially for a freshman who hasn't had many with this much pressure. How about that?
Made that look good, didn't
Perfect.
he? Florida 2-3 this year in games decided by 5 points or less. Mississippi State 2-1.
%65% on the year. Looked like a 90%er on that trip.
That'll get you in late game situations.
Hubbard will try to preserve some time. Now scoops it up.
Florida has fouls to give.
Smith is 18 feet from the basket. Finds Jeffries, and here comes Hubbard on a 3. Missed everything. Great contest by Will Richard.
Yeah, Richard wasn't even involved in the play and stepped out and contested that shot. He read that double stagger. Hubbard, I think, got a little more concerned about trying to draw the foul than shooting the shot. What a night for Will Richard.
He has done it all, a season high 23 points, got 9 rebounds, flirting with a double-double, and he's filled up the stat sheet on the defensive side as well.
See the way Kugel didn't dribble, he's evaluating. It's a smart play.
Approaching the 1-minute mark in an 8-point game, and now a foul after 14 seconds off the clock. It'll be a 1-and-1 for the Gators.
Kugel's 69% on the year. I just love the way, against pressure, don't be in a hurry to catch a pass and put it on the deck. And 2 different times, Kugel caught the ball and evaluated.
Kugel now coming off the bench for the Gators. And misses. Kugel stuck on 4 points. The time is now for Mississippi State. Good drive, but no finish that time for Moore. He had a blow-by and then heard footsteps.
Chris Janz's team has made a great run here in the second half. They just dug themselves too deep a hole. And one of the beauties of this Florida team and Todd Golden, they have different guys that can get you 20 on a given night. I mean, Pullen can do it. Clayton can do it. Samuels had a couple of 20-plus games. Kugel's had 4. Richard now is in his 3rd. So when you've got different guys who can get you 20 a night, that kind of offensive diversity makes you very difficult to defend.
And they normally win the battle on the boards. They have rim protection. They have depth. Again, there's a lot of things to like about this Florida roster. Some teams peak later than others. I wonder if Florida will be one of those teams. Smith hammered down low, and he'll go to the line.
Smart play because they've got fouls to give, and I think Joe Lindsay called it on the floor.
Oh, he did? He did. Okay, I thought he might get the benefit of the doubt on that. Instead, State will inbound at the baseline.
I thought Richard was going to get a double-double there. He's 1 rebound shy.
He's got 40.5 seconds to try it. Hubbard, design play of the inbounds. He's gone cold. And that's been a trouble spot for Mississippi State.
But where would Mississippi State be tonight without Hubbard? And especially in the first half.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's clearly their best scoring threat. He's got 23 tonight, and really the story, nobody else has really chipped in a whole lot of offense for Mississippi State.
What's going to be the rule of thumb in this year of parity in college basketball? You better win your home games.
Well, when you lose one, then you know you got to steal one on the road, which makes it even more pressure-packed.
And Florida did that when they lost at home to Kentucky in a great game, but then went on the road and got the road win at Missouri.
(75-63), Hubbard. Matthews on a slam. Inbound to come.
Mike, don't you feel like Florida kind of found their composure late? I thought they got rattled for a 4 or 5 minute stretch. But
absolutely.
Late, Todd Golden's team found another gear.
Well, I thought the key was the timeout he called.
Right, to save the 2 seconds on the 10-second count.
Right, and also to kind of regroup a little bit in terms of how they're going to attack some of the pressure, because the pressure clearly was making an impact on this game.
This is the first of 4 straight quad 1 opportunities for Mississippi State.
Yeah, and they already had 4 in a row before the Vanderbilt game. So Mississippi State and Vanderbilt, now this is obviously fluid, but as it stands, they will lead the league in quad 1 games in conference play.
Yeah, I think 11, right?
That's right, 11 of 18, to give you an idea of just how strong this league is.
Florida, 10 of 11 from the free throw line in the second half. That'll also win you games.
I don't think Chris Jans wanted that last foul, but it'll go against Mississippi State, and it'll send Florida to the line for perhaps the last time. And Tolu Smith just fouled out of the ball game. It's a double-double for Tolu Smith, but it's not the kind of impact that you wanted if you're Mississippi State. 10 points, 10 rebounds on any given night. He can give you 25 and 12.
He only had 12 shots, but how many of those were second chance shots? Third. He had a hard time getting into the scoring zone tonight. That double team that Florida did on the baseline with the guard, I thought that was pretty effective.
They did a good job of neutralizing one of the best big men in the SEC. Hubbard, never bashful. Hits a three, but it's going to be too little too late for the freshman. And the Gators are going to pick up their third conference win of the year. Florida wins it 77-67, a 43-point first half, pacing the Gators to their 13th overall win.